Alright, we got this licked right here. Couple volleyballs, no big deal. What is up, guys? It is your boy Gazda back at it again with some new Archero content for our Archero series on my channel. And if you are new to my channel, this is where we play Archero, which is a mobile game developed by Happy Studios, available on Android and iOS. Fun game, hard game, and we dive into tips, tricks, content, playthroughs like that. So if that content seems really exciting to you, I highly recommend that you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and that way you never miss an upload. I upload about 2-3 times per week. So without further ado, let's kind of jump into this. This is not a clickbaity title. There is a bit of a cheat kind of exploit that if you want to see, just stick around later in the video. I'm going to show you how I was able to kind of eventually whip the hell out of, well, the hell chapter 13. And right now we're just kind of going through my gear here. I'm voicing over this. So we used Helix to beat this run, and the reason I'm voicing over this is because you never know when you're going to have a successful run, especially with Chapter 13. So here is my talents, here's the gear. I was using a dodge setup, and I was honestly, and sometimes where you see this cutting, was me walking. I was actually in the middle of doing some errands, walking, ended up sitting down at a restaurant, and so that's why there's some pauses and cuts, because I ended up just like letting the game sit kind of thing. And as I got closer to the end, I got really nervous, and was like really thinking, is this gonna actually be the win? So as you can see, I picked up multi-shot because with the spear, it's a given. You need to have multi-shot. Well, I mean, it's SS tier, triple S tier. Like, always get it whenever it shows up. And with the spear, especially, Ricochet really plays out nicely because the laser shoots faster and faster with each, bounce. And what I love about the spear, which when originally the spear came out, you can see my older videos, I thought the spear was garbage. What I love about the spear, though, is that it almost never misses. Like the boomerang, yeah, it goes through enemies, but it misses. But the spear shoots the laser so fast that it almost never misses. So with you not having any miss, it kind of adds up to more DPS over time. And then with the ricochet, that laser shooting super quick, so it's almost always going to hit the other enemy. And well, with Sylvan, which was not out at this time, as you can see, this is older. Toxic Meteor and Bolt hadn't been modified at that point. Sylvan really makes it pop because of his bonuses on the procs of the elemental arrows. But again, we didn't have Sylvan at the time. He wasn't even revealed yet. So at this point, it's level 4. I took a little while to decide what I was going to go for because I wasn't sure if I was going to get Bouncy Wall, and I already had Ricochet, so I didn't think that it'd be wise to get that. So I ended up going with Frost Strike because it's always good to pause the enemies a little bit. And as you can see, I used the Thorny Vest to help with the ultimate tentacle monster. So having that little bit of freeze time with the fast-moving spear helped really catch me through on this. Now, if you're liking content like this, I highly recommend you subscribe to my channel again and hit that notification bell 2-3 times per week. But also, I want to bring to note, I uploaded a video on the Ancient Legendary Spear, so I'm going to leave that link right up here if you want to check that out. I'll upload that on Wednesday, so check that out. Okay, so anyway, now we're on to the Snake Boss, which, in my opinion, he has a lot more health than the Snake Boss when you fight him in Cave of Bones. Like, a lot more. Like, my DPS wasn't too shabby, as you saw from my character stats. And even then, it took a long time to take him down. And I even took a lot of damage I really should have avoided. I know his pattern pretty well. You don't have to move that much. I don't know why I was so nervous when I fought him this one time. But I was, and I took a lot of damage, so I didn't see any devil from him. But yeah, like, basically strategy, just kind of stay towards the end there, and his little projectile is always going to hit, well, I got the bolt, it's always going to kind of hit in that circular field, so if you can just kind of stay in a diagonal, you'll be able to avoid it pretty well. So that knocks out the first boss. Now you're going to see, because in this run, I mean, I had the whole run, but I cut it down for time efficiency. See, like, I jumped to the Angel. There's not much else to see right here. Level 10 through 20 is about the same. You get the tentacle monsters being a little more aggressive, and then the egg Wyvern kind of show up a little bit. Wingman, definite skill to grab if you get it. It's pretty top tier in my opinion. But yeah, I just kind of cut through it because I mean you kind of see what's going on. I didn't skip any abilities. Don't worry. I think I level up here. Yeah, I level up and then here's the boss. Let me see here. Front arrow, of course. I have to. You gotta get it. Okay, so here's the thing with the tentacle boss. Now, this is what I alluded to where I talked about I cheated a little bit. You're gonna see it. You might not see how it actually helped me. It's not really a cheat, it's more like an exploit. Tentacle Monster is extremely difficult. Even watching videos by other YouTubers who accomplished it, I really could never get the pattern down. And I took a lot of damage. But thanks to that Thorny Vest, when you do get hit, um, it does freeze him for a bit, which then allows you to lay down the smackdown, if you know what I'm saying, because he's a bastard, he really is. So I took damage, yet I procced the devil, and this is what was the game changer that actually allowed me to beat this level. You see, you don't see it there, but I can now walk through walls. Now you'd be like, okay, well what's the big deal there? Also, Tentacle Monster, I have no strategy for him. It's really luck-based. I mean, you want to walk in circles or whatever, but I suck at him. So I got no strategy for him. Watch other YouTubers, they do a better job. But here is where this was clutch. See this? Because the spear has a extended frame animation, you can actually be in a wall. And you guys are going to say this is cheap as hell. But you can be in a wall and still shoot your laser. So you're going to see a lot more of this throughout this video. Hey, I was stuck on this chapter for 2 months, okay? I was willing to do whatever it takes to beat it, okay? And you're going to see how it's really clutch later on in a couple more of the levels. But yeah, you can literally, because the spear points out, then shoots the laser, you can kind of hide yourself in a wall, and the projectiles will, which becomes like Hell Zone in chapter 30 and 40 of this level, you're able to basically let the wall absorb them, and then you can still damage them, and then let your laser bats, I use 2 laser bats obviously, do the dirty work for you. Is it cheap as hell? Yeah, it's cheap as hell, but you know, this game is cheap as hell, and a lot of times developers put really unnecessarily difficult enemies and projectile setups that is almost inhumane at a certain point. Like, I don't understand how anyone has the skills to avoid it. So I didn't get Toxic Meteor there, because again, it wasn't changed where it targets. It was still pretty crap, so I avoided it. But back to what I was saying. Yeah. Is it cheap? Yes. But do I want to win? Yes. I didn't want to be not on Chapter 14, and I was like, well, if this is, the opportunity presents itself, why not? So I went for it. The only thing with this kind of exploit, I'm putting in air quotations, is, well, the bees. You got to move out for the bees, because the bees will still come get to you through the wall because they can fly. But everything else really can't hit you. So I think it's smart. So I took another attack boost from the angel. We're level 36. And then we get Freeze. I still can't talk. 3 months later, still have a bad tongue. Now we have one of the original enemies from the first chapter, but he's got a new ability. He likes to, it's like he's being pulled on a leash, where he just tries to ram you. Other than that, he's pretty easy. If you can beat him all the times you fought him, multiple times throughout all the game, you should have no problem with him here. That's kind of annoying, but it's not game ending, although I took damage, so I guess I suck at the game. A lot of the comments say I suck. You're right, I do. And here we are on level 41 now. So here's where you can see where that became really clutch, the walk through wall ability. Because look at how many projectiles are on the screen. So you can hate me if you want, but I thought it was pretty smart. So like you can see, the spear will still shoot its projectile out through the frame of the wall. So you can hit them, but they can't hit you. It's major cheating. It is. But fight me in the comments. Is it really? Who am I hurting? I'll listen to a good argument. Who am I really hurting here? The game is for my enjoyment, right? Right? That's what we're here to do, is enjoy the game. If the game has been cheap and I haven't been able to beat this chapter in 2 months of playing it basically non-stop, and I also got Frost Sword so that I have a little bit of defense if they come and encroach me on the wall. But who am I really hurting? I'm not hurting anybody. I don't think so. If you disagree, leave a comment down below. Tell me how you would beat this chapter if you are so big and bad. You know, based on the statistics, when you beat this chapter, it says you beat 99% of the players. So a lot of people that watch obviously have not gotten that far. I don't know how many players are on Archero, and I don't even know if that number is real. But judging it is that it's based off of actual player volume, player base. A very small number of people have gotten to this chapter, and even smaller will then have beat it. So I'm going to assume that it's kind of accurate. But this is where it almost failed me right here because you can't really hide in one block. Like the damage can still hit you. So I got a little nervous. You can see I got a little erratic. I move a lot. And I did the best I could. But still didn't die. Go for the attack speed minor. I'm at full health. Why not? This again was very minor space to move. This is where I thought I was going to die. At this point, remember, I haven't died yet. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing good. I haven't died. I didn't get the extra life from the devil, but I can potentially make it to the final boss and be okay. And then a miracle turnaround. Had 16 health and just laid the smackdown on these horrible, horrible enemies. These evil creatures that have come from hell. Or maybe I'm in hell. It is Lava Land. And want to kill me for no reason. All I'm trying to do is just justice to the land and restore sanctity and peace. And they want to come at me, especially the bees. I don't understand what's going on here. Bing bong, bing bong. What's wrong? Why aren't the bees pollinating? Sorry, I'm just trying to fill the dead silence. I don't know what else to talk about here. Basically, this video is like, look how I kind of exploited this chapter to beat it. Because I did, and I have no shame about it, because I would have been stuck on this chapter even still if this didn't happen. So here I get a little excited. I'm like, oh my god, I haven't died. I have one more level, and I know there's a chest at the end. If I can make it, I can get a full health. I should be able to beat the boss. So right here, I know I would have died if I didn't have Wall Walker to walk through that wall and lay the hell on this hell spawn. I would have definitely been dead. But thanks to walking through walls and my spear, I was able to clutch it for the win. Basically went into the last boss with full health and was like, okay, there's no way I can lose. Because I studied his patterns, watching other YouTubers that did beat the chapter, so I knew what to expect. And so I just still got a little nervous, but I kind of walked in there and was like, okay, he's the same boss from Lost Castle, except he's got a new move, which is, well, two new moves. He has that move where he jumps, and then he has the volleyball. Now, he gives a lot of, you know, heads up that he's going to do it, the jump and the volleyball, so it's not that hard. But at this point I was like, okay, I'm doing well. If I can get him to half health, even if I die, I'll have the invincibility for like 3 seconds. I should be able to knock him out. And he does the shockwave, did the volleyball, jump, avoided it, no problem. So really, like with all the bosses, keep your distance and you should have no problem. Side note, this was the first time I actually encountered him. In the 2 months of playing this, I had never gotten to the last boss. That's why I felt like it was hopeless, because I never even played him. And so the first time I see him, I actually beat him. And so then he died, and yeah, that was it. That's this chapter. So thank you for watching. I appreciate that. But before you go, the video's not up yet, but I'm going to leave a link here. Thanks for watching. There's a blooper reel kind of all my cursing. It's not very family friendly, but I'm gonna leave that here for when this goes up, and check that out. A lot of cursing of how much hatred I have for this level. But that basically brought me to the end of this chapter. He wasn't that hard, the last boss when I fought him. And if you enjoyed content like this, I highly recommend that you subscribe to my channel. Again, hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. I upload 2-3 times a week. And while you're at it, smash the like button and leave a comment. I answer the comments. So that's it. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.